Um, Good afternoon and welcome to Pristine TV, our dearest viewers out there. Today we have a very wonderful guest in our studio, a guest that is ready to come by, and he's here to handle a very difficult topic, a very rare one also. In our schools today, especially in the seminary, we are always faced with two monsters in quotes, Hebrew and Greek. And most students dread those courses. Of course, they would always tell you that the passing of Hebrew and Greek is the beginning of wisdom. And if you have not passed those courses, you have not started your theological training. So today, because of how dreadful and frightening those courses are, we have invited a very good expert in those courses, who is also a theologian. This man is a graduate of religion, did his masters in New Testament studies, and about to have his PhD now in the same New Testament studies, that is Greek language especially. So he's a master in those languages, and one of the people that made it easier for me to pass those languages, actually, because I was among those students who were afraid of that. So, but he made it easy for me. So today, with us in the studio, we have Adnan, who is a okay. Okay, Adnan is Udo Ugochukwu, PhD in View. All right, sir. Welcome to our studio today. This is Pristine TV, and we know you are qualified to do justice to what we have to discuss today. So, a very quick one. Tell us a little bit about those two languages, Hebrew and Greek, and why we must study them in our seminaries.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you for this privilege which you have given to me. So thank you so much. I want to say that Greek and Hebrew, these are the two languages we study in theological college and also in universities. Why we study them is because for you to understand the New Testament and Old Testament language, you must study these two languages. For example, the Old Testament originally was written in ancient Hebrew, while New Testament was originally written in Greek language. So for you to interpret the Bible effectively and correctly, you have to consult this manuscript, this ancient language. And this language, like for example, the Hebrew is the language of the Jews, the Israelites. So whatever that is written there are things that surround the people. So for you to interpret the Bible, you must consult these languages for a better understanding of the Bible and interpretation.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay, viewers, you have heard from the horse's mouth. The way to do proper homiletics, exegesis, and all the rest of them, you've got to understand the original languages, which are Hebrew and Greek and some others. Okay, so but Doc, please, we have very big challenge. Those two languages seem to be like monsters in our today's schools, especially in the seminary, which you also, as a seminarian, must have experienced it with other students. So can you give us some reasons why students dread those courses?
The reason why some of the students don't do well in those courses is because for them, they assume that courses are difficult and time consuming, and most of them don't have interest on those areas. Sometimes some students blame lecturers of not teaching them very well. Some of them have these impressions that this language cannot be understandable, like they can't understand it because of the nature of the language. And the truth of the matter is that those languages are not difficult. It depends on the mindset. So So those languages are not difficult, and it requires effort. Once effort is being put, there will be a positive result at the end.
I've been waiting for you to say that those languages, that has been your statement, those languages are not difficult, those languages are not difficult. Okay, so, but people are failing it like tomorrow, no day. So, can you tell us, since to you it's not difficult, you must have a secret. So, what are some of those secrets that can help students like us to pass Hebrew and Greek?
Okay. I'll begin by saying that those languages, emphatically, there is no shortcut in learning those languages. There's no shortcut in learning those languages. So first of all, what one must do in order to pass Greek and Hebrew examination, the first thing is interest. Interest. One must develop interest, cultivate interest in learning those languages. I want to quote somebody. Steve Jobs said, "The only way to do a great work is to love what you do." So for you to pass Greek and Hebrew, you must love that language. You must love the languages. You must love Greek, love Hebrew, so you can be able to come out with a good result. And also somebody like Bian Francis said, interest is the fuel that drives the engine of achievement. So it is the fuel that drives the engines of achievement. So interest is very, very important. You must have interest for the language. That is the first step. And the second step is you must have textbooks, exercise books, that is textbook, exercise books, and notebook. They are very, very important. What I mean is that after lecturing, we need to consult your textbook for further clarifications and explanations. So textbook is very, very important for this. Any student of Hebrew and Greek must have. Even the notebook, you put down what the lecturer teaches. Apart from it, you must have an exercise book where you put down the words or the topic being treated. So you must have this if you want to do well. And another area is attending lectures and tutorial. You can't stay on your own and do well on these areas. You must attend lectures. So that the essence of attending lectures and attending tutorial is to learn pronunciations of these languages, to learn how to pronounce those languages, to know the syntax and the languages and how to put it. You know, for example, the Hebrew, you know, the alphabet begins from Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Men, Samik, Ayin, Sade, Kof, Lesh, Sin, Shin, Tav. So if you are not in the class, you can't be able to know how to pronounce these alphabets. So attending class and tutorial is very, very important. It will help you in understanding those languages. Another one is practice. Let me just say somebody like Sam Livingston, I love his quote. He said, "Don't watch the clock, do what he does." So and he said, keep going. Practice is very, very important. You must cultivate habit of practicing. You practice what the lecturer teaches you, or teacher or tutor, anybody that handles you on those areas. You must practice what he teaches you. Putting those things into practice. Practice makes perfect. And you have to do some exercise. Personal exercise is part of ways in which you can do well in those languages. You must practice, set example for yourself, and solve problems, solve those things. That's writing down the alphabet, the endings, they do the conjugations and declensions of those letters, those words. It will help you to understand and also to recite those words whenever you see it. Constant practice is very, very important. I discovered that most students don't practice. Sometimes they visit those languages once in a week or once in a month. There's no way you learn those languages like that. What you should do is continuous practice every day. You visit those languages. Every day you study it, you study the languages every day. And another one is these languages are based on memory work, memorization. You keep memorizing. For example, in Greek, you have to memorize those words, even the vocabulary. For both Greek and Hebrew, you are expected to memorize all the vocabularies. At least for you to be able to interpret the Bible very well, you must know at least 80% of the vocabularies found in the Bible. That will help you to interpret the Bible. I know that the Bible is a sacred book. It was written in the language of the people. So you have to do the memory work by constantly memorizing those words used there. For example, when you have something like logos and you're expected to decline logos, what you should do is to memorize logos, logon, logon, logo, logoi, 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 logos, logon, and logois. So you have to memorize it. And those words are being arranged in this form, in 6 cases, like nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative. So these words are arranged in these cases. So you need to memorize them so that each time you find them, you can be able to identify them. Greek is also, they are being arranged and grouped in different stages. So for one to understand this language, you start from the alphabet. You learn the alphabet. Like Hebrew, we have 22 alphabet. Greek, we have 24 alphabet. That is 24 letters. And after learning those letters, we learn the vowel. Originally, the Hebrew were written in consonant. They were written in consonant until the Masorite added the vowel. Without the vowel, you cannot pronounce any Hebrew word. You can't pronounce it. It is the help of the vowel that will enable you to pronounce the Hebrew words. So one have to memorize the Hebrew alphabet. That is the first thing you have to do. Memorize the Hebrew alphabet. Like Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zani, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Samid, Ayin, Pe, Sadel, Kof, Les, Sin, Shin, Tav. While that of Greek is Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Nu, Xi, Omega, Pi, Sigma, Chi, Upsilon, Phi, Chi, Omega. So you have to memorize these alphabets and also learn the vowels. So to conclude, you need to encourage yourself. Once you encourage yourself in these languages, I want to tell you, you will do better. Before I conclude on this area, you have to get a sheet, get a carbon paper, cut it into small sizes.
Okay.
Write down the alphabet on the vocabularies on each of them. Maybe one of the sheet may contain 5 vocabulary. Okay. For example, like apostolos, Jesus, Christos. Just write those alphabet and each transliteration. The essence of transliteration is to help you pronounce those words. So put down the vocabulary in those sheets and travel with it anywhere you find yourself. Just anywhere you are going, go with it, so that when you are less busy, bring it out and look at it. It's something you have to do every day. Before you know it, you master it. the language, both Greek and Hebrew.
Wow, I've learned a lot. Thank you very much on that. Our viewers, you've heard, you would need mnemonics, like you said, cards. You need to study hard. You need to constantly practice. Otherwise, if you leave Hebrew and Greek for a day, they will leave you for a month or a year. So you've got to be doing it constantly. All right. Before we call it a wrap, we've noticed that some students who had interest in either of those courses later, start having problems. And just let me put this to you as a teacher in this field. What can contribute? Can a lecturer be a contributing factor to students' hatred of any of these courses?
Okay, I can say that it depends. It depends on the person that handles the language. If the tutor didn't give students confidence that they will do well on it, it will affect the students' ability to learn the language. Anybody handling this language must first of all tell the student that it is possible to do well, to pass the language. You have to cultivate this confidence. Students need to build confidence within themselves that they can do this well in this language in terms of studying, writing the examination and reading the language. So I can equally say that both the teacher and student can contribute. It depends. Okay. Yeah. Because when a student don't have clear mindset on the subject, it can equally affect the person, that the student that is studying the language. One must have this mindset that I can do this language and I can do it well.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Our viewers out there, the person in the studio today is no other person than Ordinand Ugochukwu Ezeudo, who is a PhD holder in view. In a couple of months, he will bag his PhD in New Testament studies. So that is why we have him today in the studio, authority in the field we are talking about. In fact, you need to meet this guy who is teaching Hebrew and Greek. I was among the students who were very much afraid of those courses, but I had an A thing and a B in the other one, all thanks to the man on the screen. So whatever thing he's saying here today, take it seriously. Hebrew, Greek, they are not demons, they're not monsters. They're just like other languages, English, Igbo, French. Just take that same mindset with which you are learning English language into these ones and you will excel. Apply all he has said. All right, finally, Doc, any last word for your viewers out there? Any advice? Any last words before we draw the curtain?
Before I conclude, I want to appreciate those that taught me the language. I want to appreciate during my undergraduate study in University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I passed through Dr. Mary J. Obiora. She was the one that taught me Hebrew, and Dr. Professor Collins Ugu. These are the two Hebrew scholars and lecturers that taught me this Hebrew. I did both advanced and basic Hebrew. Even Greek, I did both advanced and basic too while in Nsukka, and I appreciate Dr. Omaka Ngebe and Professor Ezichi Anaituma. So my advice to the students of Greek and Hebrew is that hard work pays, study, practice, and you will excel. Forget about those criticisms. Anybody that is telling you that this language is not, it is very difficult to learn, tell the person that it is very easy to learn. So when you do that, it will go a long way in helping you to understand the language. So I advise you study and you will do well.
Okay, sir. Tell us bye bye in Hebrew and bye bye in Greek before we go. Didaskalos.
Okay. Goodbye.
No, tell us in Greek and Hebrew. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know what is Didaskalos. I think that's teacher, right?
Didaskalos is teacher. That is what it means.
So, thank you, Didaskalos, and shalom.
Shalom is peace.
Peace.
Dikosina is righteousness.
Dikosina.
Hypocrisy is steadfastness. So
before I bite, here's hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy is steadfastness.
So you viewers hate hypocrisy. Before I bite my tongue, we'll see you again. Thank you very much, Doc, for bringing out your time. He had tutorials and other things out there to handle, but we had to steal about 20 minutes of his time to have this come your way. Share this video and make sure it gets to your friends, and will come your way next time. Until then, I am Ichekuto Joseph. Thank you, and
thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.